Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Apologist Ace Attorney, which I believe to be the last portion. Well, that of 3 videos, which, you'll be guys choosing with the next 2 videos, the next video you see. So, what's going on? Let's hear the poisoning of Vera, shall we? Owning the same nail polish does not make a murderer make. I have been in solitary confinement for half a year. How could I poison her? Her father died of the same poison, the meaning of which should be clear. The prosecution's case holds. She poisoned her father, then attempted to poison herself. Surely you aren't going to suggest I was responsible for poisoning her father, too. Yes, we are. Well, I'm afraid the defense's claim is sounding rather unlikely. Naturally. For one, I don't even know the Mishams. Isn't that so, Mr. Justice? Very well, Mr. Justice. Begin your cross-examination. I'm accusing Klavier Gavin, my ex-boss. But I know he's poisoned the Mishams. The question is, when could he have done it? Not to mention, why? Okay, we're gonna, as you can see, we have our bracelet activating, so there's something very, very lying in his, he's lying in his testimony. Which is the very last portion that we gotta do when he's saying you aren't gonna accuse me of actually poisoning her father, which I don't think he should know about. Let's go to this scar and wait till he says the words her father. This is gonna take a while, folks. Give me a moment. Klavier Gavin talks rather slow. Gotcha right here, Christoph. Yeah, Christoph. I always get those two, Klavier and Christoph, mixed up. It was you who killed Drew Misham. A bluff worthy of your new mentor, Mr. Wright. Oh, really? But you see, I saw it. Right when you said her father, too. Your hand tensed unnaturally. A little devil appeared to give me the news. And let's assume for the sake of argument that you saw me being tense. What does that mean? Are all tense witnesses guilty? And tell me, was Drew Misham found the nail polish too? Sorry, but there's more than one way to poison a man. You don't need nail polish to get to someone's mouth. Ah. Then I must be very talented indeed. You see, Drew Misham was killed on October 6th, while I was already in my solitary confinement cell at Central Prison. If that's not an alibi, then I don't know what is. But you found a way, all the same. And I found it too. This is how you poison Mr. Misham. The letter, I think, is what we want to do. We want to present... No, we want to present the letter. I mean, not the letter, the criminal stamp. What am I talking about? I'm sure this criminal stamp requires no introduction. The night Mr. Misham died, he was seen writing a letter. A strychnine was found on his stamp, Mr. Gavin. So I am to understand this stamp was a murder weapon? Yes, you are. Oh, and yes. This stamp was found in your prison cell. He took a hit there, and not much of a confessing hit there. As you can see, he's pretty hard to shake. Even with the first case, he was pretty hard to shake. That is all, Your Honor. Order, order! Poison on the back of that stamp? After Drew Misham was killed, someone paid a visit to his witness cell. Phoenix writes, Daddy? That's when he found the stamp. You made Drew Misham write you a letter. That's how you killed him.
What?
My. You upset my poor brother to the point of uselessness. Allow me to clarify this matter, Justice. All you need to do is recall witness Spark Burstle's testimony. Mr. Mint. It's his new nickname. I hope that catches on. People, freaking tweet on hashtag Mr. Mint. I'll be forever in your debt if you do. He was looking for a stamp. Ergo, he had no intention of using this stamp. What are you getting at? What I'm arriving at is that this commemorative stamp was in the frame. It was mere coincidence that he used it that night. That would seem to be the case. Or perhaps you mean to suggest that I can somehow manipulate coincidence. No. He does have a point. How would this witness know if the victim was going to use that stamp? Without that, he couldn't have planned the murder. What? Really, Klavier? You should be seeing through this weak-spined bluffs by now. He's right, though. How could anyone have known Mr. Misham would use that stamp that night? Least of all, Klavier Gavin locked away in his cell. Well, there's actually a way that he could manipulate Mr. Misham, but I think you all saw that letter. So what's in that letter by now? It seems that the defense has run out of things to say. You assume he has something to say in the first place? I believe the defense's bluff has been called.
The defense's bluff? I'm not sure I agree with you there, Christoph.
Oh my god. Klavier is backing me up here? Klavier.
Honestly, I wanted to believe you. But the defense wasn't trying to get away with a bluff. You were, Christoph.
What are you saying, Prosecutor Gavin?
Her forehead? What was your accusation again?
Huh? Oh, it was that...
This poison stamp killed Drew Misham, yeah? To which my brother responded thusly. There was no way to know when Misham would use the stamp.
Yes, that's right, which is why it couldn't have been planned.
Tell me, it needs to be planned? Why? Why couldn't it have been a coincidence? The defense's case is simply that Drew Misham died by that stamp. That's all.
Coincidence.
Christoph, you tried to slip out from under his accusation by changing the subject.
Oh my god, Klavier is helping us out
That's
here.
not bluffing, what is it?
What are you up to, Klavier?
I could ask you the same question, Christoph.
Dang, a brother fight going on here. I silenced the defense with the fewest words possible. It's called efficiency. But Mr. Gavin, that's impermissible testimony. Very well, I shall take his claim head on then. Justice. What? You accuse me of Drew Misham's murder, yes? Then allow me to ask you, what possible reason could I have killed a painter? Apollo, motive. He's talking about motive. Indeed. It's hard to see an attorney could come to want to kill a painter. Now here's something. Why didn't he bring up the motive from the very beginning? Unless he was afraid it was a battle he might lose. So what does it mean? It means there might be a weak spot. Maybe I have some evidence to prove a motive. A motive for murder. This is vital, if not the most vital element in this case. Please consider this when making your statement.
I'd say it's about this vital.
Wow. That's pretty vital. Well, Mr. Justice, I'm going through with this no matter what. Understood. Your Honor, I like to present evidence. Then let's see what you have for us. What reason did Klavier Gavin have for wanting to murder Drew Misham? Now you can either present two things. Like I said, I didn't know you could present two things to the statement. You can either present one, the red envelope, or two, the notebook page. But his response to the notebook page is the funniest, so I'm going to show you that. Let's present this. Klavier Gavin's motive becomes clear when you consider why the stamp came to Drew Misham's studio in the first place. And why was that? Forgery, Your Honor. Go back 7 years. Drew Misham accepts his first job creating forged evidence. I've seen that before. A page from a diary, wasn't it? Not Ifigumari's diary. Ah, when attorney Phoenix Wright lost his badge. Yes. This was the evidence he presented to his loss. This evidence is a fake, yes. But did Mr. Wright request the forgery to be made? That was never proven.
The defense attorney on that case was Phoenix Wright. Who, other than him, drunk with the prospect of victory, could have done it? And why would they?
Just out of curiosity. Do you remember this letter? Mr. Drew Misham, I deposited $100,000 in the designated. Please send a receipt once we confirm the transfer. The first page. The second page tells him to use the stamp directly. Not the second page. There's a letter that tells him to use the stamp. Those were presented in court yesterday. This letter was sent to Drew Misham by the client who requested that forgery. The enclosed stamp was none other than the poison commemorative stamp. Drew Misham drew his last breath just the other day. However, the motive for his murder was already 7 years old.
7 years old?
The client who requested this forgery was very cautious. He tried to erase anything and anyone with connections to the forgery, to keep them from talking, but he made a mistake. Pretty much he killed the wrong person. He killed the wrong person. The killer's time bomb was delayed. The poison stamp was sealed within a glass frame, where it sat for 7 whole years.
Her forehead. Do you understand what you're telling us? The one who skimmed up the forged diary page was the one who poisoned the stamp. And it was Phoenix Wright who presented the forged evidence 7 years ago. Adding the two statements together, the one who schemed to kill Drew Misham was none other than Phoenix Wright!
Oh, come on. Sorry, but that's not how this is going to go down.
Oh, then how will it go down?
I checked through the records on that case when I found this 7 years ago, just before the trial began. He received this letter from Trucy. Pretty much, like, it's just all the flashbacks we've had so far going through these cases. It's all coming together now. Even though we're doing this for Phoenix Wright, when it's really not for our own well-being. Phoenix Wright was put on the case the day before the trial started. He didn't have time to request a forgery.
The day before?
Now here's a question. Just who was Shady Nimmar's previous defense attorney?
No, this can't all be.
But it's all true. There was another man, a defense attorney, with a badge on his collar. It was you, Klavier Gavin. Order, order. What is the meaning of this? Witness, I mean defendant, former lawyer. Let me begin by denying this. It's easy enough to look up, Mr. Gavin, and impossible to prove if you can't. Attorneys are registered with the court the day before the trial begins. In other words, no record remains in the court. How exactly do you intend to prove Phoenix Wright's claim? That would be difficult. I'm afraid this line of inquiry won't yield.
Her forehead. Are you sure you don't have evidence?
What's wrong with Prison Security Gavin? He looks clammy.
Evidence! Evidence that showed this man, Klavier Gavin, requested the forgery 7 years ago.
Klavier.
Just prove it! Clear up these doubts now, or I swear I'm off this case!
And he's really messed up, and something's wrong with him. He really needs to be proved. He must have thought some evidence, Apollo. Klavier Gavin looks like he's in physical pain. That darkness. I had to pull that darkness out of him, and prove it's the only way I can. What proves Klavier Gavin's link to Drew Misham? Well, Mr. Justice, you claim Klavier Gavin requested a forgery of Drew Misham 7 years ago. Prove it. It can be proven. Simply ridiculous. Why even discuss it? This evidence does not.
Are you telling the truth, Apollo Justice?
I am.
Then I say we give him the benefit of the doubt.
Very well, but if you're wrong about this, you prepare for a penalty. Your Honor, you do the defense an injustice. Mr. Justice is clearly passionate about his claim. Should the penalty not match his passion? Look at this, we're gonna lose most of our freaking chance bar here. I haven't given a penalty like that in a long time. I wonder when the last time he gave a penalty like that before. Actually, anybody can clear that up. I'd like to know when was the last time he gave a penalty that large. Well, Mr. Justice? Fine, Your Honor. All I have to do is prove any kind of link. Something that ties Klavier Gavin to Drew Misham. And I have something that clearly does the job. Very well, Mr. Justice. Present your evidence. Show us the link between our witness and Drew Misham. The letter from Mr. Misham. Last piece of evidence. This evidence proves there's a link. That scrap of paper? I'm afraid I can't let you submit that. Is there something? Is there some problem? There is. How could you possibly have that? You couldn't. Hey, that's Daddy's handwriting. Mr. Wright's handwriting? What does this mean? I see now. Yes, of course. What do you mean, of course? I just remembered I had a visitor yesterday. Phoenix Wright came to my cell. Except that I wasn't there.
Phoenix Wright?
When I returned, I saw he had something of mine in his possession. Of course, I had no intention of letting him get away with reading my private mail. Mail? You mean this letter was in your cell? No. However, it appears Mr. Wright has yet to be cured of his bad forging habit. Well, if it's not forgery, it's not a very good one. The handwriting is terrible. This is Mr. Wright's reproduction of what was written in the real letter. Reproduction? When Mr. Wright visited Klavier Gavin's cell, he brought with him a small video camera. What? He recorded his entire conversation with you, Mr. Gavin, and the contents of your personal mail. Oh, looks like we heard him. Regardless, this mockery of a piece of evidence will never be accepted by the courts. Evidence based on a video a man with no authority whatsoever claims he took. A man who happens to be an ex-attorney suspected of forgery. Prosecutor Gavin? Prosecutor Gavin? As embarrassing as this is for me to say, I'm afraid my brother is incapable of making rational judgments at the moment. Your Honor, your decision, please. The defense's claim is denied. What? Only actual evidence is permitted in a court of law. Please remove the defense's evidence from the record. Better luck next time, Justice. Dang it, he got this. We still got one thing. We still got the jury. Well, we've certainly taken a detour from our cross-examination, but the defense appears to be lacking proof. I'm forced to end the cross-examination of Klavier Gavin at this point. Apollo, do something! I'm thinking, but without evidence, I don't have anything I can use on him. Very well, this ends the special witness's cross-examination.
The show's over, yet the crowd screams for more. Only now do I understand why.
Prosecutor Gavin?
Frankly, I'm relieved. This has been bothering me for 7 whole years. And I'm tired of the whole youthful angst scene. Now's our chance. Let's clean out the family closet, eh, Christoph?
Klavier, you're spinning out of control. Calm yourself before you say something you regret.
Spinning out of whose control? Mine or yours?
Take a moment to consider everything you've built. Your reputation as a prosecutor, your fame with the masses. You could lose it all, Klavier. Apollo, do you see that? He's trying to press Prosecutor Gavin. Prosecutor Gavin, try to remember. What's really important to you?
You amuse me, Herr Forehead. I couldn't forget what's really important to me, even if I tried. In fact, I haven't. Not even once. 7 years ago,